Hi, everyone. I'm Colleen, and this stream, of course, is brought to you by Princess Dental Staffing. Happy to see everyone on this Wednesday. So, today's topic, we are giving you 10 tips for getting to work on time. Okay. So, we're talking about getting to work on time today, and we're going to be giving you some time saving tips to kind of help you make sure that you get to work on time. Now, I know this seems kind of trivial. I know it seems kind of trivial because, anyone, you may be thinking to yourself, Colleen, anyone who has been a professional for literally any length of time understands the importance of getting to work on time. And you would absolutely be correct. Professionals understand the importance of getting to work on time, and yet and still a lot of people have have difficulties with punctuality and getting to work on time. So we're going to go ahead and share some of these tips with you today, and hopefully they help you be able to get to work on time every day. Okay. But before we dive into that, just want to remind everyone that these live streams are brought to you by Princess Dental Staffing, which is an online dental job board. Okay. And you can visit there today, princessdentalstaffing.com. If you have a few minutes to get today, go ahead and hop on princessdentalstaffing.com. They have positions available for dental receptionists, dental assistants, dental hygienists, and dentists in a variety of different areas. They have full-time, part-time, permanent, and temporary positions as well. So, like I said, if you've got some time today, hop on to princessdentalstaffing.com, see what positions they have open in your area. It's also super easy to create a profile and get your information in front of hiring managers as well. And you can take a look at their blog that covers a lot of the same content and information that we cover in these live streams. Okay. Speaking of these live streams, each week we are bringing you a new live stream that talks about your career in the dental industry. So if you don't want to miss out on future streams, be sure to subscribe to our channel or follow our page. Yes. Follow our page or subscribe to our channel. And if you have any thoughts, comments, insights, or just anything to add to the conversation, be sure to comment below. And if you have any other time-saving tips or punctuality tips to kind of help you get to work on time in the morning or in the afternoon, whenever your shift starts, be sure to comment them below. Okay, and we can kind of help each other out. Okay. All right. So let's dive into these. Before we dive into these tips, let's talk about why punctuality is so important, right? So, when I started this stream today, I talked about, the fact that, to some people, this can seem a little bit trivial, making sure that you're getting to work on time, effective time management skills, and those sorts of things can seem kind of trivial when in reality, they're really not. Making sure that you get to work on time can really set the pace for the rest of the day and make sure that you have enough time to do the work that is expected of you during that shift or that day, right? It's also really important to get to work on time too, because it shows, it demonstrates good teamwork, right? You definitely want to be an excellent team player. And the way that you do that is you get to work on time, and that shows reliability. It shows um, that you support the team by making sure that you are where you need to be at the time that you need to be, so that you can contribute to those operations, right? And contribute to helping patients get better and healthier. Okay, so that's why it's so important. That's why it's not as trivial as you think. Okay. So let's go ahead and talk about the tips. Number one, keep your car tuned. Now, obviously, some things you're just not going to be able to avoid. Sometimes flat tires just happen, but you can reduce the amount of times, or you can reduce the likelihood that your car will break down on the way to work by ensuring that you are getting your routine maintenance out of the way, oil changes, tire rotations, and ensuring that you take your car to the mechanic as soon as you see that dreaded check engine light, right? And making sure you've got all of that taken care of. Okay, and then also making sure that you've got a spare in the trunk as well, and that you have all the equipment that you need, because you never know. Knock on wood, this doesn't happen to you, but you never know when you might be on the side of the road and need a tire change. Okay. Now, if you don't take a car, if you take public transportation, make sure that you get to the location, like the bus stop, or wherever, a little bit earlier than you need to, maybe like 5 or 10 minutes earlier than you need to, because you never know what you're going to encounter on public transportation. Okay. Alrighty. So that is tip number one. Keep your car tuned. Number two, prepare for tomorrow today. Okay. So if you take, maybe 15 minutes in the afternoon or the evening to prepare for the next day, okay, it goes a long way to, making sure that you're not wasting time in the morning, or, whenever your shift starts. Okay. So if you have a few minutes in the evening, take like a few minutes in the afternoon or the evening to pack your lunch for the next day, or your breakfast, depending on, when your shift is. Choosing your clothes and laying those out. Make sure you have everything, and make as many preparations as possible. Okay. So that you're not scrambling first thing in the morning. Okay. Number three, make the bed immediately. So I believe it was U.S. Navy Admiral McRaven, hopefully I'm saying that correctly, who said, if you want to change the world, start by making your bed. And I think that's great advice, because, making your bed in the morning, I know it seems kind of counterintuitive, right? You're like, Colleen, you're giving us these time saving tips. You're giving us these time management tips, and you want us to waste time making our beds in the morning. Really? I know it seems counterintuitive, but so making your bed in the morning actually goes a long way to building your motivation. So, effective time management is not just about saving time, it's about using it wisely, right? And if there's value to be had from the action that you're engaging in, well, then that's time well spent, right? If that kind of makes sense, right? So making your bed in the morning, again, it can kind of give you that motivation that you need to kind of get through your morning and get through the rest of the day. Okay, because it's one thing that you've checked off your list. It usually takes 5 minutes, and you've already checked it off your list. So it really does help you hit the ground running. So it is it is worthy of you spending your time on making your bed first thing in the morning. Okay. Time use is always the most important, whether it is 5 minutes or 50 minutes, it doesn't matter unless you're using it correctly. Yes, absolutely, Drew. Thank you for that observation. Exactly what I'm trying to say. So, again, time management and punctuality, it's not just about, saving time, but it's also about spending it wisely. And if there are, certain actions that you can take, or certain activities that you can engage in that are valuable, that add value to your day, absolutely, I recommend doing it. Okay. Number four, expect challenges. How often does everything go exactly to plan? How often does everything go perfectly smoothly? Usually doesn't. It usually, at least not in my experience, it usually does not. So you definitely want to plan for challenges and obstacles. Okay. So what does that look like in terms of time management and getting to work on time? That means giving yourself adequate time to deal with unexpected events, right? So give yourself a little bit of extra time, a little bit of extra cushion. Okay. In order, so if you have a task that you have to do in the morning, give yourself a little bit of extra time. So if something, for example, um, if making your lunch in the morning takes 10 minutes, give yourself 15. Okay. And that way you have a little extra cushion. And then if it so happens that everything in the day just goes exactly to plan, that must be a very good day for you. And that I would consider, first of all, I would consider that a great day. And second of all that extra cushion that you didn't need, well, now you have a little bit of extra time to yourself to, maybe relax or engage in something that helps manage stress. Right. Okay. Okay. Number 5, set reminders. Okay, so you can, so, and of course we can all do this on our phones. Set little reminders for, and you can actually receive like text reminders or just little pings on your phone to remind you of appointments coming in or things like that. And that kind of helps you kind of keep on track for the rest of the day, right? Same thing. So number 6 is using a countdown timer. So kind of same concept, right? That kind of tie together. You setting reminders and also using a countdown timer. So if you have a little bit of extra time between like meetings or appointments or things of that nature, you can set a little timer to go off when you, so to remind you in order to get to like the next appointment or the next meeting or the next, whatever it is that you need to get to. Okay. So if you have a little bit of extra time, you can absolutely, set a little timer. Um, and again, if you don't have anything to do between those appointments, you can use that time to do a little stretching, or maybe, get yourself some water or something like that. Okay, something that kind of helps you decompress a little bit, so that you can continue to move through your day. Okay. Number 7, keep your valuables in one place. Okay. So within your home, hopefully you have a designated area where you keep all of the things that you need to grab before you leave the house. Right? Your keys, your wallet, your glasses, your phone, your charger, your purse, your makeup, your lip balm. I don't know what you're taking with you, but all of those things that you usually grab or need to grab before you leave the house, make sure that you have a designated place for all of those things. And that way that gives you more time in the morning because you're not spending time, frantically searching for that charger or whatever it is that you need. Okay. Number 8, be considerate. And we kind of touched on this a little bit earlier. When trying to think about your team members, right? And the people that you work with and your patients, right? So thinking about how it affects them, how your tardiness might affect them, gives you a little bit of empathy. Now, that's not to say that you need to, you know, feel guilty or bad if you do show up late. Okay. Again, this is something that a lot of people struggle with. Okay. So it really doesn't do it's really kind of counterproductive to feel like guilty or ashamed of your punctuality limitations. Okay. But having a little bit of empathy for your coworkers and your patients can actually go a long way to helping motivate you to ensure that you get to work on time. Okay. um, and if you are ever late, of course, take the time to be courteous and apologize, or say something to the effect of "Thank you for waiting for me," or "I apologize, for A, B, and C." And I will work to make sure that kind of thing doesn't happen in the future, and that I'm here on time. Okay. All righty. So being considerate. Number 9, forget the convenience stop. This is the one I struggle with. How about the rest of you? Getting that morning coffee, right? Right? Am I the only one? Am I the only one? I struggle with that morning coffee. Gotta have that Java. I am a Java fiend. So stopping to get that coffee in the morning, or pick up a light breakfast, or a snack or something like that. That's definitely me. Okay. So if you are going to hit the convenience stop in, like, the wherever, the coffee shop or the convenience stop, or wherever it is you have to go in the morning, if you are going to do that, make sure again that you give yourself a little bit of extra time, or you could skip it all together, make your coffee at home, grab you a thermos, and just get to work. Yeah. That's probably the better way, but of course, that's kind of a hard habit to break. So if it is something that you're going to continue to do, make sure that you give yourself a little bit of extra time, a little bit more cushion, okay, in case something goes wrong, like they forget your order or something like that. Okay. But if you can, go ahead and buy a thermos, make your coffee at home, and then you don't even have to worry about it. Okay. All right. Number 10. And lastly, don't try to do one more thing. This is something else that I'm guilty of as well. Okay. So, um, we have sometimes we have the temptation to just kind of do, oh, you know what, I have a little bit of extra time, let me just go do this one more thing. Sometimes that one more thing doesn't take the 5 minutes that you think it's going to. Okay, so resist the temptation to do that one more thing. And in terms of time management, make sure that you are taking that time in the morning to plan the day. Okay. Again, effective time management is not just about conserving time or saving time. It's also about spending your time wisely, and taking that time to plan the day can really kind of help you not run into that situation where you feel like, oh, I have one, oh, I'm just going to do this one thing real quick. I'm just going to do this one thing. Well, you don't really have to do that. If you've planned out your day well, then that one thing that you have to do, there's already a time, dedicated to that one thing, right? You already have a time in the day where you will be able to do that one thing later. So you don't have to do it right now. And doing it right now, again, usually when you think it's going to take 5 minutes, very rarely does it actually ever take only 5 minutes. Okay. And that can really kind of disrupt the rest of the flow of the day. Okay. So make sure you're taking that time to plan for the day. And that way, that one more thing won't come up as much. Okay. And if it does come up, resist the urge. You can get to it later. Okay. All right. So let's go over them one more time. 10 tips for getting to work on time. Okay. Number one, keep your car tuned. Or alternatively, if you take public transportation, make sure that you get there a little bit earlier than is needed. Prepare for tomorrow today. Okay. So if there's something that you can do, go ahead and get it done the afternoon before or the evening before. Okay. And that will save you a lot of time in the morning. Number three, make the bed immediately. Again, spending that time doing something that is productive and that adds value, okay, to your day, it's always worth taking the time to do. And making your bed can definitely jumpstart that motivation to get moving and to move through the rest of the day. Number four, expect challenges. Okay, very rarely does the day go exactly how you want it to go. So make sure that you give yourself a little bit of extra time for each task, so that you have a little bit of cushion and it doesn't have to, those challenges or those disruptions don't have to ruin the rest of your flow of the day, right? Number five, set reminders. You can do this on your phone to set reminders for, appointments or things of that nature. And that kind of ties in with number six, which is use a countdown timer. So if you do find that you have a little bit of extra time between, meetings or patient appointments, you can set a timer to go take care of something else, or to talk to, a coworker or whatever. Or again, just take some time to decompress, really help manage that stress by doing some stretching or maybe listening to some sounds, right? I really like the ocean sounds personally. Number seven, keep all of your stuff, all your valuables in one place. Your keys, your wallet, your glasses, your sunglasses, your phone, your charger, your lip balm, your makeup, your whatever. Make sure you've got a designated place within your home so that you can just grab them and go if you have to. Okay. Number eight, be considerate. Again, definitely avoid feeling guilty or shaming yourself, but be empathetic with your coworkers and your patients, and think about how your tardiness might affect them. Okay, because that can help give you motivation to ensure that you are getting up on time and that you're doing everything you need to, and getting to work on time. Okay, because it does affect the rest of the team. Okay. Number nine, forget the convenience stop. Okay. Now I know that this is a hard habit to break, but again, if you can, go ahead and buy you a thermos. Okay. Make your coffee at home and take it with you. Maybe doing a little meal prep or a little meal planning so that you have a grab and go breakfast as well, or a grab and go lunch. Okay. Can actually do a lot as well. But if you are going to hit that convenience stop because maybe you just left your lunch at home or something like that, make sure to give yourself a little bit of extra cushion, a little bit of extra time, so that you can still get to work on time, even though, that challenge happened. Okay. And lastly, number 10, don't try to do one more thing. Okay. I know it's understandable. I suffer from the same thing. I definitely have that temptation to just do one more thing in between, clients or in between, tasks within the day. So make sure that you take the time in the morning. The way you avoid that is to take time in the morning to plan your day so that everything has a designated time. So you know when you're going to be doing everything. And that way that temptation to do that one more thing won't be there because you've already designated time later in the day to take care of that one thing. Okay. But if it does happen, again, expect those challenges, right? If it does happen, make sure you set that timer and expect that 5 minute task is probably not going to take 5 minutes. Okay. So give yourself ample time. Okay. Okay, so thanks for tuning in today, everyone. We will be back next week with a new topic, talking about your career in the dental industry. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope everyone has a great week, has a great weekend. I hope you continue to stay safe out there. I'll see you next week.